The world is changing and human employment is no exception, which is what me and my GP group will be talking about. Today in this video, I'm going to focus on technology's impact on employment and workers' rights. Let's start off with an example, the introduction of the tractor. It only made sense to adopt it as it made work easier and more efficient. However, this led to a lot fewer farm workers being needed and thus growth in unemployment. Now, many people predict that more jobs are going to be taken by advances in technology, leading to increasing unemployment, and this view was reflected in the survey we conducted as well. Now, this poses a moral dilemma. Should employers replace their employees on such a scale and leave them without a livelihood? And should the government let this happen? The most notable findings of our survey were that 80% believed that machines are a threat to unemployment, 70% believed that this is not a widely recognized issue, and 81% believed that the government is not taking measures accordingly. Another example is a multinational effect on the dairy industry. In Pakistan, there is a culture of rearing buffaloes. Doing so helps people fulfill their economic, emotional, familial, and sometimes even political and social requirements. However, companies like Nestle, in collaboration with Tetra Pak, are now selling increasingly popular and convenient packaged milk. This threatens local small businesses that sell milk they get from their buffaloes. These businesses not only help increase the productivity of cows by being compassionate and humane to their cows, but also act as a check against monopolies such as Nestle and Engro. But currently they are under great threat by the very same companies who do the same work but employ sophisticated technologies at a large scale. Bakr, a PhD scholar in this matter, says Nestle purchases raw milk at very low cost, and after adding preservatives and extracting fats, they sell the milk to the same village at double the price. Although our findings paint somewhat of a bleak picture, and this will hit developing countries especially hard, but things can be done to overcome this. The government needs to provide cheap and easily accessible workshops and training for skills that won't be replaced by technology, or those jobs that will be complemented by improvement in technology. Now, many people predict that more jobs are going to be taken by advances in technology, leading to increasing unemployment, and this view was reflected in our survey we conducted as well. Now, this poses a moral dilemma. Should employers replace their employees on such a scale and leave them without a livelihood? Should employers lay off workers just because we're replacing them with machines? This would cause a complete economic downfall as unemployment would grow. The government can train people to prevent this from happening by training them to switch to safer career options. You, as a viewer, should plan ahead and adapt for changes caused by technology in the job market by learning which jobs are at risk and which are not, and learn skills accordingly. People should organize and put political pressure on governments to take the aforementioned steps. Now, before you go, here is an interview we conducted with a professional who works in this field.
Hi, this is Nauman, and today I'm going to be talking about the effects of mechanization on the society, on basically the labor society. And to talk about mechanization, first we have to know what exactly mechanization means. And what it means is that, when you replace human or animal labor with machines, a lot of that is happening right now in the whole world. But there is a stark difference between that happening in a first world country and that happening in a third world country like Pakistan. So today I'm going to be talking about that in context of Pakistan. For first, when you talk about it, you also have to look at the history of mechanization, when that started and how that started. So that basically started with the first industrial revolution when, a lot of the societies in the world, a lot of the states in the world turned to industrialization and turned into industrial states. And that actually created a lot of jobs for humans, humans and animals. A lot of these were the only manpower that was used at that time. But since the society is progressing and technology is taking over, this trend is changing right now in a lot of in a lot of the world. Like most of the first world countries are employing these new technologies. For example, artificial intelligence, robots. all of that are taken over the jobs that are being that were once for humans and animals. So it does have a negative effect, no doubt about that. But you also have to look at the positive aspect of it. Well, obviously, you cannot stand against the progress of technology because that is the way the world is going towards. And if you stand against it, you're not going to win. You're not going to get anything out of it because this is the way forward, and you cannot stand in the way of progress. However, as I told you, that there is a difference between that happening in a first world country and that happening in a third world country. The difference is that in the first world countries, you have a lot of laws and regulations that take care and ensure that the rights of those workers that are being kicked out of jobs because of mechanization are safeguarded. However, when you look at that happening in a third world country like Pakistan, we don't have any laws or regulations that take care of those labor rights or so first I think pro the positive aspect of mechanization would be that it makes our life easier. Everybody loves machines. Everybody just we use phones. We use every kind of technology that is being introduced, and even like artificial intelligence is a big part of our life right now. Everything that you do on the internet, everything that you see on the internet is closely related to artificial intelligence. Everything that is happening around us, everything, all of your experiences, emotions, these are being recorded by the artificial intelligence, and they have they actually characterize you on the basis of the kind of data that you consume, on the basis of the kind of content that you consume. And that is actually, that does have its negative effect. But if you look at it on a very surface level, it is very beneficial to people like us who are living in the, urban societies. But because of the kind of education that we have, the kind of exposure that we have, we do not actually look at the negative aspects of it. But the people who go through the burnt of the negative aspect of it are living mostly in the rural societies because they're not as exposed to technology, as exposed to the new things that are happening around us as we are, and they're mostly the people who are working by hand labor, and that is something that affects them the most. So what I believe, that needs to happen for us to, actually take advantage of mechanization in the industry that were once ruled by, workers, human workers, is to, for our government to make those laws and regulations that do affect, that do protect the rights of those laborers. And other than that, on top of that, they need to also, put in public strategies, put in public policies to ensure that these workers, they are not outcasted, they are not deemed useless by the society because something that they once used to do is being now done by machines. What the government needs to do is to take care and to introduce programs that train these workers that were once working by their hands to use that machines, to use those new technologies, to use everything that was once being done by them and is now being done by machines, to be able to use those technologies into their workforce is something that the government needs to take care of, something that the governments need to look at in a third world society, because that is happening right now in most of the progressing countries in the world. When you talk about United States, when you talk about China, that is happening. These people, even though if they're not much educated, even if they're just labor workers, they are learning skills, learning new technologies that are being employed by industries that were once being taken care of by the human labor. So that is what I believe that should happen when you talk about the mechanization.
Hello, everybody. My name is Dr. Tahir, and this is just a quick opinion video of the humans which were doing the tasks beforehand. But it also means that it will create new streams and new avenues um, to grow, to prosper, to develop. Uh, so I think even though some jobs will be lost, but other jobs will be created as a consequence. What would change, however? would be how we learn, how we adopt, and what sort of support activities are provided, support is provided in order to make sure that human resource is upskilled alongside. One of the major danger to this is that third world countries with limited education and infrastructure to adopt these technologies would further lag behind, and that would probably be the case for Pakistan and other third world countries. Hence, it's extremely important that our next generation adopt these technologies and understand the vital significance of developing their careers and their futures when it comes to utilizing technology, when it comes to learning different requirements and objectives of the next generation. Thank you very much.